Hello, this is Minder Chen. In this Excel demo, I'm going to continue on the discussion of how we handle a list in Excel. So you need to bring the T2 list spreadsheet back so we can take a look. This is part of the Excel lab file. You need to unzip it and you can find this document. Double click on it and you open it up. You may be seeing the list. We talk about a list is kind of almost like a table in database. We have discussed previously how to sort the data in a list, how to filter it, how to group them, and create aggregated data based on what we have in the list. Today we're going to talk about conditional formatting and pivot table. Let's first look at the conditional formatting. Conditional formatting basically allowed us to display data based on different criteria and different kind of color-coded format. So you need to go to Home, then choose conditional formatting. So you can highlight cell based on different rule. You can also highlight data based on whether the top 10 item, top 10% or bottom, etc. You can also display data like a bar chart right in the spreadsheet. Okay. And you can also color code it. And even better, you can use icon set. This is the one I like. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. So let's just look at a few of them. Let's maybe tier based on the sales data. And you do need to highlight the whole column. Just click on one cell doesn't work. Okay, this is different from the use of other list related function. So for instance, let's just do this kind of data bar chart, which is kind of fun. Okay, so I can kind of show the data this way. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So you don't have to actually look at the number. Okay, it's kind of visually easier to spot a high number. Okay. And certainly probably better to sort it, but sometimes we may not want to sort the data based on the price or the sales. So I can kind of get rid of it, clear the rule. Okay. So let's look at other way. For instance, I can highlight the whole column. So I want to highlight cells which is greater than, less than, between certain range, or equal to a specific number. Okay. If it's text document, you can say I want to highlight text, maybe someone whose name is Smith. Okay. Or a range of a certain period of time in terms of the time period. Let's just look at this, greater than. So we can say, well, we want data to be greater than $9.99, and then you can highlight it. Okay, you want to make it green. You can say okay. So all those data cells that's greater than $1,000, greater equal to $1,000 will be highlighted. So you can kind of take a look at it. A lot of time we will actually highlight things which need our attention, such as if the cells below a certain number, and sometimes we refer to that as kind of exception management, managing those exceptions. When you have lots of detailed data, you want those exceptions to be highlighted to get your attention, so you would deal with it instead of searching through the detailed data, try to find those problematic area yourself. So let's look at the icon set. Okay, I'm going to just use the traffic line as an example. But before that, I forgot one more thing. Forgot to highlight the column. And then I can just say, okay, I want this iconic set. Okay. So they actually show green light, red light, yellow light, but what does that mean? We need to actually go to, let me see when I can find it. Okay, you need to come here. Let me do that again. Okay, let me first clear the rule. Instead of choosing existing one, I'm going to just say more rule over here. You can choose the icon that you want to use. Okay, this one just suits us fine. And then you can specify under what condition that a cell should be associated with a green icon or green light, yellow light, or red light. Okay, in this case, it's by percentage. Okay, so you can change that. You say, okay, top 20%. Here, 80% reading greater equal to 80% means you want the top 20% to be shown as green, and then you want the bottom 20% to be shown as red. Okay, so we can do this. So in this case, if a manager is interested in look at the bottom 20% and maybe call up Michael Smith, sorry, not Michael, Peter, and say, hey, how come you did not sell as many copy of Business Time, okay, in March period? So this kind of visualization, color-coded information can be very helpful. Okay, the only concern that you need to be a little bit sensitive to people who may need to use this color-coded worksheet is whether they may be colorblind. Okay. I'll let you figure out how you can find out your target user may be colorblind. Go and ask them, maybe or maybe not. Okay. So that concludes our discussion of conditional formatting. I'm going to quickly move to pivot table here. When you look at a list, it's kind of column and then the row. Okay, so we can certainly sort by the sales data from high to low. Okay, hold on a second. Next to your selection, let's just do it here. High to low, so that's sorted. In this case, let's so that suits us fine. However, if you really want to analyze the data in a more complicated way, look at not just from the sales data's viewpoint, but want to find out who contribute a lot to the sales, or what magazine tends to sell more, or what period of time that we're making a lot of sales. And then so you have a lot of other factors that's driving the sales. In order to analyze that, pivot table is a good tool to use. Okay, let me undo the cell sorting. So how do we do create a pivot table? And it's coming. You can highlight anywhere in the list. Okay, that's a nice thing about list. You don't have to kind of highlight the whole region. Then you can go to Insert, and you can choose Pivot Table here. The two kind of pivot function, I usually just use pivot table, not pivot chart. So I'm going to just say OK. And the system is smart enough to highlight, if you look at the dotted line, highlight the whole region of the list. And then usually you want to have a new worksheet to work with this newly generated pivot table. So I'm going to say OK. First, let's study this area. It's empty now. The row and column, okay, there's a column field, there's a row field, okay. In our traditional list of data, there's no row field. There's only column. And then you need to drop value field. Value field usually are numerical data. And there's actually so there are two dimensions, row and column. And there's the third dimension that we have is actually over here. It's the report filters field. This will become clear once we look at our data. For instance, the best things to do probably is to drag a value field here. We can do it two different ways. You can drag it here. That's the grand total of the total cell from all the record in that list. Another way to do that is actually you can drag this sales data to the value area here. Okay, so you achieve the same. Sometimes it's easier to manipulate over the right hand side at this special panel. But this grand total doesn't tell us much, so we need to drill down. To drill down, we can, for instance, look at the region. Okay, so we'll find out the sales for the 4 different regions in detail, and that's the grand total. Okay, but if you want to find out, for instance, the magazine sales by itself, cross-reference with the region, then you need to drag the magazine over here. Okay, another way to do it, once again, is drag the magazine as the column label showing here. So now we can see the East region sales of various magazine and the total amount. We call this cross tab, which means you need to cross-reference the row and column. Just using this cell as an example, it means that the dollars and cents magazines sales, we sold $4,200 of it at the East region. Okay, and so that's what we call cross tab. If we go further, we can actually drag sales rep under the region. In that case, we can actually kind of break down the sales of various regions by the salespeople. Okay, in this case, it seems that the salespeople do work across multiple regions. That is fine. So in this case, you find out the East region, we have those salespeople, and this is their individual sales. For instance, dollar and cents, once again, Rachel Anderson sold it into the East region for $1,200. Okay, I can contract it, I can expand it. Okay, I can expand it by clicking this plus sign. Okay, this is kind of drilled down and rolled up. Okay, one more thing, we have this time month, which is really a period of time of this reporting. You can put it in column and row if you wish, but a good place to use it is actually this report filtered field, which means if I drag it here or here, that would do it. Nothing changed, But if you drop it down, you find out that we have data of 4 different months in 2 different years, and you can just say, I only want to see a particular month's sales data. Okay, you just choose it. Okay, another way, I think we can do this. If you want to say, I want to see the first 2 months of 2001 sales, that's what you're going to see. Okay, so cross-tag can be a very powerful, the pivot table can be a very powerful tool for you to analyze data and find out what constitutes that highly aggregated number. Okay, we're going to use it in data warehouse topic later on. Okay, so this concludes our discussion of conditional formatting and pivot tables and how we use it in Excel. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.